Welcome to the Launch to Six podcast, a podcast about how you can launch your online business from 0 to 6 figures in 24 months or less, regardless of your prior experience. Now, here's your hosts.
Hey guys, welcome to the Launch to Six podcast. I'm so excited. I'm with my comrades here, Thomas and Kasper. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
So yeah, guys, like I said, we're going to get straight into the podcast. Some of you guys might be new to us, or you're familiar with us. You're on our email list or whatever. And the whole goal of this podcast is to help you launch your business from scratch and take it to the paradise number, I call it, is the six. That's six figures. You know, it's 8,000, around 8,000 a month. That gives people financial independence. So we're going to give you the steps, the map, the tools, how to do that. And we're just going to introduce ourselves. And like I said, we're very easygoing, to be honest. We're based in England. So I know everyone says England have bad teeth, but I think our teeth are okay. But
I think my teeth's pretty good, mate.
Yeah, our accents, they love though. But so we like to have fun, and we like to just give you the steps. It's like, look, here's what we did, here's what we're doing, and we want to help you replicate that in whatever interest you have. So, Launch to Six is all about turning your hobbies or interests into an income online. And how do you do that? Because the amount of people I speak to, just like taxi drivers, everyday life, they're like, that sounds amazing, but how do I do that? Right, Thomas? Right, Kasper? Like everyone's like, that's incredible, but how do I actually do it? And that's what this podcast is about, right?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And most people, it is quite interesting. Most people, they'll have their passion, they want to turn to their profession, but very often, we'll go into this in more depth in the podcast, guys, but very often, most people are coming out of employment, they're technicians. They don't think like business owners. Our goal with this is to help you think like a business owner. When I started my first business, which failed, I'm telling you now, I was thinking like a technician. And honestly, it's so key. And we're really excited to get into this because starting businesses, it's a passion, and how to structure them,
isn't it? It's truly life changing. If you know how to do it correctly, your whole life and your family's life can change.
Absolutely, and it cannot just be about money. It's about the time. I remember. I mean, for me, the first thing that really clicked me onto business, wanted to start my own business, wanted to have control, was the whole idea of who's richer. The person who makes $100,000 a year, and they're working 70, 80-hour weeks with commutes and stuff. Who's richer, them or the person who's, they're making maybe 40, 50 grand, but they're working like 10 hours a week or less. So it's that idea of time and then lifestyle that comes with that. And I know that, you're huge into that, Tom. I know Kasper, we've all got our very own different lifestyles that we live, but it's very much about how can you balance that out? Because the other flip side of this is you build your business, you become successful. And the danger is that your business becomes more of a job than your original job, yes. and that's not something that you want to avoid. It's really important to understand that from the start.
Absolutely. And that's why we launched the podcast now, because obviously the pandemic, millions of people are unemployed. There's literally millions of people unemployed. And in the crisis, in the negative situation, there can be, you can prosper if you change direction. And obviously a lot of people go, jobs are safe. Well, they're clearly not, because your whole destiny is in someone else's hands. And huge corporations have actually lost, and they've had to unemploy people. So you have to wake up, and I think the world's waking up, and we want to teach you what we've done. So we share a little bit about ourselves and how it's going to help you. Well, most importantly, you don't just want to hear our life stories, but we share so you know who you're actually listening to. So I'll start with me. I've been running an online business since 2013. I started off in the real estate. Maybe you guys are familiar with like wholesaling, if this is an international audience, or property sourcing in the UK. But I started off with that. I was working at GNC, Holland & Barrett before. So I just had basic jobs, and I was only, early 20s, 19, 20. So I had a basic job, but obviously I always wanted more freedom. So I looked around, how do I start? And I come across real estate. So I'd done that for a year, come successful. Then I started seeing people teach it, make a lot of money and help people. And I was like, what are they doing? And then I learned the ropes. I won't go into it now, but I learned the strategies and how do you run an online business. Like listening to the podcast now, that's what I did. I've actually been there. I've done that. And I was listening to all the podcasts. I started and I was making six figures in my real estate company. But then I quickly launched an education business in real estate. I think I made six figures my first year, like 100 grand, 500 grand the next year. And I cracked the million mark, and that's in sterling. So it's about 1.5 million in 1 year. And it was probably about 800 to 900,000 profit. That was just like, what on earth? Because 3 years ago, I was stacking supplements, taking dust off supplements. And that's a real story, guys. It's not some fake hurrah stories. So you can do this in any niche. I've got friends that are doing this in Amazon, Forex. There's some people that literally teach people how to be better golfers, and they make 5-10 grand a month. Like, come on, that's crazy. So it's a new age. It's a digital economy. And that's me, guys. I'm just here to deliver you value and do it passionately and help you. I want to help people, and selfishly, I'll be honest, I want to attract clients, and we offer mentoring and we help people, but that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm here, and I'm excited to share my expertise. And Thomas, he's very humble. He won't say a lot about himself.
No.
Share, Thomas.
Hey guys, so my name's Thomas Szewski. I'm my background's a little more traditional, I suppose. I always wanted to start and run my own business. That was my dream. Many reasons for that, mainly around my family and you know, wanting to spend time with, when I find the woman I love, spend more time with her and kids and so on and so forth. So a lot of it was very orientated around that and cars and so on and so forth and all that stuff. But for me, it started out that I just hated being in employment. I hated it, and I was employed a very short period of time, and literally ended university, ended employment, wanted to start my own business. And I started my own business, and it failed miserably. So I started an architectural lighting consultancy because that's what I'd studied, that's what I worked in very briefly. I very quickly discovered that I didn't know enough around business. I was just getting my head around, you know, architectural lighting and design, and yet I was then there to start a business, and it's a very different skill set, and what really got me off the line was mentoring, having someone who guided me. I remember before all of that, I had a VAT registered company, and I didn't have a clue what VAT was. I drove my accountant up the wall. She hated me. I was pestering her for like no reason. And then I was asking her, how do I do bookkeeping? It was just an absolute train wreck. And from there, I actually began to learn. I began to become obsessed about business, learning what it could give me. And I then essentially started working within the property space, very similar to Tom. We met through property. And my background basically was around property investment and development. So I've essentially, for the past 5 years, I've worked with investors, and I've built a portfolio that consists of a number of different types of residential property, and I have a current development. But at my heart and soul is design and really building a user experience. And property, there's an element to that, it's a huge element of that, but my big passion is around that designing of that experience for people, whether it be online, graphically. And see, when I met Tom initially, we met in November 2016, and we basically you know, got on very well, I must say, and essentially introduced me to, because I was always obsessed with how I could do things faster. And so I became an absolute geek and obsessive around technology and how you could take things online. And so that's very much how we sort of began to come forward. Now, I say I'm a geek around tech. Kasper, you're a resident geek, mate. You know, talk to us. I've waffled too long. I'm not obviously not as humble as Tom initially said.
Hi guys, well, thank you, Thomas. Well, I'm Kasper, and my story is a little bit different. So I thought I'd go the more traditional route. So I went to university, I studied hard, I built the skill sets to then go and land myself the corporate job, you know, put the hours in, put the hard work in, tried to climb the corporate ladder, did that for 10 years. And I mean, it just occurred to me that my hard work would always be dependent on somebody else. And I just figured out quite early on that no matter like how much hard work I put in, it's not going to be proportionally rewarded in a corporate job. So I then went and I started my own company, and I thought, since I have the skill sets, then I can obviously make this work. I've got the product, people are going to buy the product. But I failed miserably because I was, like Tomasz said, I was lacking the business knowledge. I might have had the technical skills, but I did not have the business knowledge to start a successful business. So I failed and I tried again, and second time round succeeded, because, well, like Thomas said, mentorship, it's all about connections, it's all about knowledge, it's all about knowing how to build your business, and it's not so much about technical skills, it's purely business. This is a purely business.
And
that's well said, actually. That's really well said.
It's really well said. A lot of it comes down to understanding a structure and a framework of thinking. And at the end of the day, as business owners, we're problem solvers. And the moment that you sort of take that approach and attach a business acumen and framework to that, you can, Richard Branson's a great example. We love Richard Branson. He's Virgin. He's literally, he is just partnering with lots of different people. He is a marketer. So he's not an aircraft pilot or an aircraft, an aviation expert.
He's a visionary.
He's a visionary.
He has an idea and has people help him fulfill it.
Brings in those parts of expertise. So guys, so we'll along this journey, we'll be able to share and bring in those skill sets, those frameworks, how to start, and even down to granular detail of how do you register a limited company? Is a limited company the best structure for you? And so we're very excited to sort of go into the different areas of this.
Yes. I want to point out, this is a worldwide audience. So guys, if you're in New Zealand or you're in Papua New Guinea or you're in Spain or wherever you are, as long as you speak English, you can run a business. As long as you have a phone or a laptop and an internet connection, and you know you have the knowledge, you can run a business, you can make money, and you can replace your income. And there's many people that says, yeah, there's loads of gurus out there teaching it. But the funny thing is, it's actually real. I realized I looked at people when I was doing property. I looked at all these people and they said you could do this. And I was skeptical at first. I was like, oh man, this is exciting. I want their lifestyle. It's inspiring. Some people have a lifestyle where they just want to have, they just want to have time with their family or take their kids to school or walk the dog or whatever. It's not always about cars and Ferraris and traveling the country. They are amazing though, because I've done that, and I share awesome experiences in another podcast, how amazing it is, not to show off, but just to share that you can do it too. But at the end of the day, everything that most legit people that have been around for a while that are teaching you, it actually works. You need to be silly. You need to be gullible enough to try what they say or what we say and see it for yourself. Test it for yourself, what we give you on this podcast, and you'll see the results. Don't believe us. Just test what we say. And, because there's a lot of people that make things up, right, guys? Let's be honest. There's the elephant in the room is people are skeptical. It sounds too good to be true. What am I going to be ripped off this? Guys, it works. Online business, if you don't think people are making money online, you need to realize we're not in the 1980s anymore. We're in 2020, right, guys? Like, it's a huge opportunity for the average person. And also, I think people think you guys are smart. I'm not smart. I just follow a blueprint. I'm really not that smart. I just follow a map. And I learn and I take action, and that's it. Some people think, oh, I can't do it because I'm not techie. And I love what you said, Kasper, about that, because it isn't about the tech, right? There's so much tools now. And I think that was really well said, actually.
Thank you. But yeah, you've got to dare to win. I mean, you've got to believe these things are possible. At first, I didn't believe it was possible. I was always of the traditional mindset that you've got to work hard, you've got to put the hours in, and then you've got to sell your time for money, and you've got to work your way up. You've got to get more and more money for hours spent. But then, I mean, that all relies on spending the hours. You've got to put the time in. And I mean, I just want that freedom. It's all about freedom, ultimately. It's not about money, it's about time. And it's about how you spend your time. And it's about quality of life.
it's funny because you sacrifice, people go, oh, work more hours and eventually retire. But all that time you never get back, and you sacrifice something: family, wife, girlfriend, your spouse, friends, quality time with, things you love doing. And people go, oh, I didn't think about that because I'll retire. But most people are not retiring until they're 70 now. It's crazy.
It's going back quite quickly,
guys.
Oh, very passionate. And I mean, going back to the point that you made around technology, a lot of people are very overwhelmed. I mean, going back to that, and we take a very different approach. It's very much about focusing on that process. Then with that, you get a system. Then you apply the technology. Once you understand that, you can essentially begin to fit around, and more importantly, you can outsource, you can leverage, you can make use of people who are experts in their field. I think it might be in 50 Cent. I can't remember the exact quote, but he goes, "I never went to Harvard, but everyone who works for me did." And I love that quote. So it's very much about understanding that framework, and then understanding where are these resources, where can I find these people to do this for me, and then how do I solve that problem, and then I mean, we go on very well. I'm very, very passionate about this, and yeah,
absolutely. It is all about problem solving, and once you link your income to solving problems rather than to selling time, you can exponentially explode your wealth in a very short space of time, because that equation is no longer linked to time, it's linked to results. And if you can deliver results quickly, well, then you can get compensated for that proportionately. And this is something that you can never do in a corporate job. I mean, I remember the frustration of putting in the long hours, working till 3 a.m, just grinding out these projects for my boss, who would give me a small, meager bonus while walking away with millions, essentially, in these deals that he's managed to negotiate for essentially selling my work for pennies on the dollar. And I mean, I've just seen that. I've witnessed it many times, and it's all about positioning yourself as the problem solver.
Yeah, for sure. And just to wrap this up, guys, as well, because I know you guys are busy listening to this, wherever you're listening to this from, on your commute or jogging or gym or whatever. I think it's important to know when you have to look at the pros and cons. And most people go, starting your business is really hard. I need loads of experience. I need to be really technical. Well, no, you don't need to be technical, because some business owner has solved that problem for you to make it quick and fast to set your business up. And we'll share these tools with you. Set your business up quickly. What you have to do is you need to have confidence in yourself. You need to pick a niche, which we'll go into in the next episode. You need to know, what am I going to do? Am I going to create a product, do coaching? Am I going to do a service for someone, or am I going to partner with someone that has expertise, and you sit behind the scenes and work on your skills? So you have skills already to make money, or you can acquire the skills quicker than you think. And then it's about following the blueprint. And just to wrap this up, we give you the map, the tools, and we help you get clear on the North Star. Where do you want to go? What's your vision? What do you actually want to achieve? And for some of you guys might want to make $1 million. Most of you probably just want to replace your income at your job. It's not about making millions. I think that's silly. I think it's about, what do you want in your life, and how do you replace your income or bump it up to hit it? And how do you actually help people and have fun? And I just think it's going to be a great ride for you guys. And let's do it.
Awesome. Lovely.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate it,
guys.